Hello, everyone. Welcome to my talk. And so, my name is Demi. I am a third year computer science student at the University of Nottingham, and I am studying computer science. And in today's talk, I wanted to talk about navigating leadership in your app development team. One of the first things I wanted to address is that I know that a lot of speakers in this event are probably people who have been app developers for many years. They've been working with companies, working with different institutions, and you might be thinking, well, what does a third year computer science student know about app development? And one of the things that one of the things that hold on. Okay, yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to address was that, oh, you might be thinking, what does a third year computer science student know about managing app development teams and all of these different things? And I guess I wanted to address that by telling you my story through app development from 2018 to now. And so let's start there. So in 2018, I was in year 11, and this is in this year I'm doing my GCSEs, like I'm focusing on just getting my academic qualifications, etc. And one of my friends comes up to me and she asks me, oh, there's this international app development competition called Technovation, would you like to take part in it? And I'm thinking, oh, this sounds really cool, why not, let's see what this could be. And me, my sister, and two other people, we form a team. And in this competition, you're meant to build an app that solves a social issue in your community. And the app that I built with my team, was a reading app called Lexis Learn. This app would time how long you were reading, and it would also allow you to document the words that you didn't know in the book and search them up through the app. It would also quiz you on these words so that you would then know what the definitions are and how to use them in your vocabulary. And this app was built on App Inventor, which isn't like it's not the same as Kotlin, Kotlin and Swift and those sort of platforms, but it was still a way for us to build an app using a block format. And while I wasn't too involved with the building app thing, I was more in charge of making sure the team was functioning well and we we're all communicating. And one of the interesting challenges I had to face in that was working with my sister in that development team, which was so weird because I'm not usually working with my sister on tech projects at all. This was my first ever like tech project. So I was very confused, and there was things that my sister was doing that I didn't understand and vice versa. And one of the things that we had to do was to work to our strengths. And that was one of the points that I put for this session, is to understand your team members' strengths and weaknesses. And I know that one of my strengths is being able to resonate with someone and show them what they can and can't do, and like how they can become a better person in the role that they're playing in the team. So I knew that my sister was really, really good at public speaking, and I made sure that she was doing more of the public speaking when we did our pitch. And she knew that I was quite good with like making sure everyone knew what they were doing. And so she allowed me to assign everyone else their tasks and let them get on with it. And that's one of the things that really helped us succeed in this project. And in the end of it, we actually got into the semi-finals, which was really, really exciting. And I didn't expect that to happen at all. I really just thought, oh, this is just a fun thing for us to do. Let's just see how it goes. But us getting to the semi-finals really showed that, oh, there's actually potential in what I'm doing. And this is actually quite a good thing for me to do, and I enjoy it. So some of my team members, they decided that they wanted to help the community, the Technovation community, and recruit more students to take part in this competition. And I helped support them by running an app development club, which I ran in 2019. And this club was essentially a club open for the people in my school where they would come in and learn about app development, learn about what makes apps work, and sort of how you can build apps to solve problems in your community. And through this club, we were able to submit a few teams to the competition. And one of those teams was able to actually get into the semi-finals as well. And this was really exciting for us because we were just sort of here like, we've only done this once. Like, what do we know about teaching people how to build apps and stuff? But that seeing how that one team got into the semi-finals made us realize that actually we have potential here. This is something that we can do, and this is actually quite important for us. So we said, okay, we've done this now, and Technovation was quite happy with what we did. So, and they came to my team. They came to the two members that were doing the actual work to support Technovation, and they told them, we would like you guys to come to Silicon Valley and see how the world pitch is. And the world pitch is the final pitch where, if you get into the finals, you get to pitch your app to an audience in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. So they were obviously really excited, and I also got to go along with them as well. So in 2019, we all jumped on a plane and went on this world pitch. And we were able to see all these different companies. And from speaking to these different companies, we spoke to Adobe, Autodesk, Uber. We were able to see how these companies work together and the sort of tasks that they do in their company. And it was at this moment when I realized that actually app development is what I want to do. I want to be in the tech field, and I want to grow in my technical knowledge and become an app developer. And after this experience, I was going on to year 12, year 13. So I was going into sixth form, and I just finished my A levels. And over the COVID period, when COVID had happened, I contacted my team again and I said, oh, there's this hackathon that I just found. I think we should do it. And this hackathon was a lot more different to the competition that we did before. And it really challenged my leadership skills because I had to learn how to communicate with people that weren't just like my friends, but people that I didn't even know. My team consisted of two of my friends and somebody that I'd never met before, which was really, really interesting. And we had to deal with the fact that this person wasn't based in the UK, they were based in Ireland. So we had to like communicate with them and see how we could work together to come to a middle point. And one of the important things about leadership, in my opinion, is just communication. A lot of it is just communicating what your opinions are and what you think is the best way forward. And I've learned that it's so hard to do that sometimes. You might think, oh, I don't want to offend this person, or I don't want to say that this person can't do this or they can't do that. And trust me, I've been there. It's so scary. And you might be thinking, oh, I am not ready for this. This is not what I want to be doing, sort of thing. But you have to just try your best and be able to communicate what you want to do as well. Um, so, in this experience where I was building this app with my friends, I learned how to communicate with my team and how to show them what they can do and what their skills are. And from this experience, I was able to learn their strengths and weaknesses and also tailor them to the different roles in our team. So, one of my team members was a very strong coder. And I told her that she should work more on the coding aspect and focus on building that app to become something really cool. And one of my other team members was really good with researching and finding out all these different resources. So, I told her to like work on that and get us the resources so that we would know what to do and how to put the app together. In the end, the app that we built was a mental health app called Mood Smart. Mood Smart is a cross-platform app that allows you to connects with your Twitter data, and it reads your Twitter data and it can determine whether some of the tweets suggest a sign of negative mental health. And this app idea came from a research paper that one of my friends found, where Facebook was trialing out this idea of trying to get um, mental health states from the social media that people are consuming or posting. And while there's obviously not much data on this, we thought, maybe we can base our app around this idea and see what happens. And we built an app that would connect to somebody's Twitter account, read their Twitter data, and then say, oh, we think that you might be experiencing the mood based on the Twitter data that we're seeing. And we think that these are the things you can do to improve your mood. And while the app wasn't like the best app, it wasn't like amazingly produced and everything, but it did show an interesting concept about how mental health could be assessed through technology. And in the end, we got into the top 10 of the hackathon, which was really, really exciting. And from this, we learned so much about working as a team, building an app together, and also showing how this app could potentially become a business. Um, and the company behind this hackathon was so happy with us that they even suggested that we pitch this app in CogX. And CogX is a data and ethics event that happens every year. It's a 3-day conference, and we were able to pitch our app in this event. And that completely changed the game for all of us because we weren't really expecting that to be a whole big thing. Like, we just thought, oh, this is just an app that we built, but it's not going to go anywhere. But after that experience, we had a lot of people like contacting us saying, "Oh, we want to actually see this happen. We want to support you. We want to see where this can go." And from preparing ourselves to this pitch, one of the things that I learned was to just stay grounded in the potential of this app. And as a leader, right, you're the one who believes in the app the most. And you need to convince the rest of the team that actually this app could become something. We could actually make this app and it could help people if we actually put in the work and believe in what it can do. And as a leader, I always make sure that any team I'm working in, I try to convince them that actually we shouldn't close our doors. We shouldn't think that, oh, this app is only a minor thing. This could be a big thing if we really want it to be. And from all of this, one of the main takeaways that I learned was to lead with compassion. And leading with compassion is essentially understanding that the person you're leading has their own issues and struggles that they're dealing with. And as a leader, you need to work together to come to a middle point. And one of the things I always say is that it's us versus the problem, not you versus them. Like, both of you work together to solve this problem, and you'll be able to get to a point where this can work and you can actually grow and become a really great team. So after we've done this pitch at CogX, we are then thinking, oh, we should actually build this app properly and see where this can go. But one of the issues we had with that was while we were a close team, one of our team members didn't see the project the same way we did, and that caused a lot of issues. One of the team members sort of treated this project as more of a side thing and sort of wanted to try out all these different technologies, but was using our project to do that. Whereas the rest of the team wanted this to become something that people could use. And there was a lack of communication between that team member and the rest of the team, where they would change the tech stack that we were using and switch between all these different cross-platform technologies such as React Native, Flutter, Ionic, and then the rest of the team just wouldn't know about these decisions until I asked them. And there was just a lot of clashing, which meant that this app couldn't really become what it was meant to become. And this was something that I found really hard to deal with because I was thinking, well, everyone else was on board with this, so why can't you follow like what we have planned for this app? But unfortunately, that was what was happened. And one of the things I learned from that is that if the whole team doesn't believe in the vision the same way, like if the whole team doesn't believe in the vision of the app, then there's going to be some clashes here and then. You need to resolve those ASAP. Like, everyone needs to be on board with what this app is and what we want it to become. And if there's any differences with that, then things can go left very quickly. And that's an important thing of being a leader, is making sure that everyone's on board with where this app is going. And if people want it to be different, then these things should be communicated with the rest of the team so that then you can work together and get to a middle point. So when this was happening and we weren't able to build the app to what it could be, um, I decided that at this point I was already about to start university. I was about to start my degree. So I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to focus on my degree, and through my degree I will learn app development more and I will grow as an app developer. And so that's basically what I did. I worked on my degree and I focused on that, and that's what helped me grow as a person. And one of the projects that I did in my second year was a to-do list app with IBM. It was part of my university group project. And within this group project, we had to build a cross-platform app, a to-do list app that would use NLP to categorize the tasks for you based on what the tasks were. So if the task was go through a run, it would automatically categorize that as a physical task. So as a team, we were working with an IBM sponsor and we had to build this app together. And that was definitely one of my bigger challenges as a leader in the team, because I started off as being the team administrator and then became the team leader. And from being the team leader, there was a lot of things I had to learn. I had to learn about how to project manage, how to deal with conflicts within the team, and how to just deal with interpersonal issues. So stuff like, oh, somebody doesn't like me or somebody doesn't want to work with me. That you have to be able to keep your interpersonal issues separate from your app development team. And one of the things that I learned from that whole thing was to keep myself is to keep the issues I have with people outside of the group project. Because as the group project progressed, there was a lot of issues that were popping up. Some team members just didn't want to work with each other at all, and communication just wasn't happening. And I had to make sure that I had a good one-on-one relationship with every member of the team, so that if I needed them to do something, they were able to get it done and it was fine. And in the end, we were able to build an app that worked. And this app, and then IBM liked the app in the end, even though there was a lot of issues that happened along the way and a lot of chaos was going on during that whole thing. But once again, through this experience, I learned so much about how to be a leader and how to show people that, you know what, despite our differences, we can come together and we can build this thing to be something amazing. But we need to work together to do this. And this thing needs to be something that, shows our skills. And through that all, we did really well in the end. We all got decent grades in the module, and I learned so much about actually building an app, because this was one of the first projects where I actually got to be more involved with the coding aspect. So I got to learn Flutter in more detail, even though I knew it before. I got to learn in a lot more detail. I got to develop my skills in it, and through that, I was able to become really well versed in Flutter and how to build cross-platform apps. And this experience has taught me a lot about the app development ecosystem and just how to build apps that work for the user. And one of the important things about leading an app development team is to remember what you're building and why. Because at the end of the day, the main thing about the app is the actual purpose. The actual purpose and the features of the app is the most important part of the app, not including the experience, not necessarily the code. The code is just solving that problem. Because at the end of the day, right, code is just here to be a medium that solves the problem of the app. And the app itself is what's going to create the experience that the users want. So after this whole experience with this to-do list app, this was when I was realizing that actually, yeah, I want to go into career with app development. I did become a product manager in app development, and that's sort of where I'm going towards. And over the summer this year, I decided to dabble around in all these different tech stacks for app development. I was learning iOS development. I'd gone on a course from Udemy, and I was learning all these different skills because I wanted to develop my skills and become a more well-rounded developer, as well as a leader as well. Because I think that an important part of being a leader is understanding both the technical side as well as the soft skills as well. And that's one thing I always say to people, that being a technical person isn't enough in the tech industry. Like, being a leader, right? It's not necessary. You don't have to be the team leader of your team to be a leader. And I think sometimes we can focus so much on all these technical skills about learning all these different things, that we can forget that actually we need to be able to communicate with our team. We need to be able to work together and grow as a team. And playing to your strengths is a good part of this as well. And once I realized that, you know what, I'm quite good at the leadership stuff, I'm quite good at the communication and the public speaking, I realized that, you know what, I need to work more on the technical side so that I can then balance them out, so that I can be a better leader and understand what my team is working on, so that in the future, when I become a project manager, I'm able to say, oh, my team's struggling on this, I know how to do this, I can help them. So through that whole thing, I learned a lot about how to navigate leadership, and also just how to grow and support my team, especially with different people. Like, different people have different working styles and different working environments. And through this whole thing, I was able to grow and develop, and also just be able to build really cool things together. And now the stuff that I'm doing now is I'm going to a lot of hackathons with my team, and I'm helping them learn how to build apps and work on these different projects. And I'm helping them, like, tailor to the things that they're good at, because I like, when you meet someone, you tend to know, oh, this is what they're good at, this is what they need a bit more work on. And one of the things I do as a online CS mentor is I push my if I push my mentees to be the best that they can be. And I'll tell them, you are actually really good at this. And I think you could do this if you just apply yourself in this context. And sometimes it might come across as quite harsh and quite like, quite head on. But I found that putting them in these situations has helped them grow a lot more. And a lot of people, and I've seen some of the members of my team in my second year project have gone from not being good communicators to being really good communicators and working well in their software development team in their placements. So I hope that in this whole talk, I was able to show you how you can be a really good leader in your app development team. And while I might not have all the answers on the technical skills, I might not be the best app developer. I just hope that through this story and through what I've been through, you're able to understand that you can actually be you can be a leader. You can be a leader without having all of these skills. Like you can lead your team without being like the best at everything. Like leadership is within every single person. And one of the things that I learned really early on is that you don't really choose leadership chooses you. And leadership is something that you have inside you. And I hope that in your future projects that you will grow and become the leaders that you are meant to be. Thank you for listening. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If there's no questions, then I hope you enjoyed my talk and I wish you all the best in the future.